The Age of Steel is the sixth episode of the second series of the British science fiction television programme Doctor Who. It was first broadcast on May 20, 2006 and is the second part of a two-part story that was the first to feature the Cybermen since Silver Nemesis in 1988. The first part, Rise of the Cybermen, was broadcast on May 13, 2006. It stars David Tennant as the Doctor, Billie Piper as Rose Tyler and Noel Clarke as Mickey Smith. It focuses on events in a parallel universe London, where John Lumic plans to convert the whole world's population into Cybermen and the Doctor, Rose and Mickey Smith try to stop him. They are assisted by Mickey's parallel universe counterpart, Ricky, who is the leader of a resistance movement. At the end of the episode Mickey decides to stay in the parallel universe and says goodbye to the Doctor and Rose. The episode was relatively popular as it was the climax to the first story to feature the Cybermen since the show's revival. It is an audience appreciation rating of 86. Plot: the episode opens immediately after the events of Rise of the Cybermen. The Cybermen have the Doctor, Rose, Mickey, and the Preachers surrounded. The Doctor uses the recharging power cell from the TARDIS to overload the Cybermen, disintegrating them. The group escapes with Pete Tyler, but Jackie is trapped inside and presumed dead. As they flee, Pete explains to the Preachers that he is Gemini, the Preacher's secret source of information on Lumic. Pete had thought he was communicating with law enforcement but accidentally involved the Preachers instead. From his hovering Zeppelin, John Lumic orders the Cybermen to activate the earpod devices and use them to control the people of London and bring them in for conversion. When they reach London, the group discovers Lumic's Zeppelin moored near the power station and head towards it. Ricky is killed by the Cybermen while trying to scale a fence to meet Mickey. After inspecting the power station, the Doctor determines that they must destroy the earpod transmitter located on the Zeppelin. Mickey and Jake decide to board the Zeppelin. Pete and Rose pose as humans being controlled by earpods, and the Doctor and Mrs. Moore try to find their way to Lumic. Pete and Rose are captured by the Cybermen when a now-converted Jackie catches sight of them. Mrs. Moore is killed by a Cyberman, but the Doctor discovers that each unit contains an emotion inhibitor to prevent their human side from taking over. He deduces that if he disables the signal from the inhibitors, the realization of what they have become will kill a converted Cyberman. The Doctor is captured by a Cyberman and taken to see Lumic. In Lumic's office, the Doctor discovers the Cybermen have captured Pete and Rose and have forcibly converted Lumic into the cyber controller. Mickey and Jake successfully disable the transmitter from the Zeppelin by taunting a Cyberman into destroying the transmitter's power source. On the factory floor, the humans yet to be converted are snapped out of their trance. Initially confused, after seeing the cyber conversion machines above them they quickly put two and two together and flee the factory in terror. The Doctor attempts to reason with Lumic to stop the conversions, but Lumic states that the Cybermen will simply take humanity by force. The Doctor, via the surveillance camera in Lumic's office, subtly communicates with Mickey on the Zeppelin to find the inhibitor code. Mickey locates the code in the computer and sends it to Rose's phone. The Doctor plugs the phone into the computer systems, causing the inhibitor signal to drop and sending the army of Cybermen into despair. The conversion facility begins to go up in flames, and the group escapes to the Zeppelin leaving Lumic to die. At the Zeppelin they realize that Lumic is following behind them and Pete uses the Doctor's sonic screwdriver to sever the ladder, causing Lumic to plunge to his death in the exploding factory. The Doctor, Rose, and Mickey return with Jake and Pete to the dead TARDIS. The Doctor plugs in the recharged power cell and revives the TARDIS. Rose reveals to Pete that she is his daughter from the parallel universe. Overwhelmed, Pete refuses Rose's offer to board the TARDIS and walks away, causing her to cry. Mickey, feeling that Rose no longer needs him, decides to stay in the parallel universe to help care for Ricky's elderly grandmother and to help the Preachers stop the remaining Cybermen, with Mickey ending his relationship with Rose. After the TARDIS dematerializes, Mickey and Jake plan to destroy a Cybers Industries factory in Paris. Continuity Lumic's expression of excellent is a reference to the off-key rendition of the word that the Cybermen have used in previous stories. The Doctor's comments about Cybermen in his universe confirms that the origin of the Cybermen in this universe is not a rewriting of the origins of the Cybermen on Mondas as established in the 10th Planet. Similarly, this leaves the Big Finish Productions audio play spare parts intact. The Cybers Industries Cybermen would reappear in the Series 2 finale Army of Ghosts/Doomsday. The first Cyber Controller appeared in the Tomb of the Cybermen as a differently designed Cyberman with an enlarged cranium. Rose recalls a sequence in Dalek when she saw a Cyberman head in Van Statten's museum. Mickey refers to his feelings of being the Tin Dog, a comparison to the Doctor's former companion K9. In School Reunion, Mickey states he is joining the TARDIS crew because he doesn't want to be the Tin Dog anymore, a reference to how he sat at home and provided support while the Doctor and Rose went on adventures. As the Doctor says goodbye to Mickey, he jokingly calls him Mickey the Idiot. This was a nickname the Ninth Doctor gave him during the events of Boomtown. The Doctor repeatedly uses the word idiot to get Mickey's attention during the events in Lumic's office. Mickey tells Jake that he once saved the universe with a big yellow truck. This is a reference to the parting of the ways, when Mickey opens the heart of the TARDIS with a tow truck, allowing Rose to return to the future and defeat the Daleks. The Doctor refers to attacking Cybus's factory at 3 points, above, between, below. This is a reference to the Five Doctors, when the Second Doctor recites an ancient Gallifreyan nursery rhyme about the 3 possible entrances to the tomb of Rassilon. Production. According to an interview with Andrew Hayden Smith, and comments given by Russell T. Davies in a press conference, Ricky and Jake were initially intended to be gay and lovers. A deleted scene included in the complete Series 2 DVD box set confirms this. This episode, along with Rise of the Cybermen, was produced in the same production block as the series finale story, Army of Ghosts/Doomsday. Location shooting took place at the Coal Exchange and Mount Stewart Square, Cardiff Bay. Footage from Rose specifically, the destruction of the Nessun consciousness was reused as part of the destruction of the Battersea cyber conversion facility. Outside references, Pete derisively calls the Preachers Scooby-Doo and his gang, and compares their van to the Mystery Machine. The marching of thousands of mind-controlled Londoners to Battersea echoes the Pink Floyd song Sheep from their album Animals, where the sheep are led into the Valley of Steel to be slaughtered. The album also features a shot of Battersea Power Station on its cover, with a pig floating above it just like Lumic's own airship. Pink Floyd is known for incorporating the Doctor Who theme music into live performances of the song One of These Days. As noted by Noel Clarke on the commentary, Mickey phones Rose and says "I'm coming to get you," which echoes the Ninth Doctor's words to her at the climax of Bad Wolf. The words also constitute a catchphrase used by Davina McCall on the UK television programme Big Brother, the latest series of which started 2 days prior to the episode's broadcast and which also featured in Bad Wolf. The climax of the episode echoes that of Casablanca, with Mickey in the role of Rick Blaine and Rose as Ilsa Lund. Indeed, Mickey adopts the name Ricky, and talks about freeing Paris. Broadcast and reception. The average overnight viewing figure for this episode was 6.85 million, peaking at 7.7 million. The final figure rose to 7.63 million. It received an appreciation index of 86. This episode was released together with Rise of the Cybermen, and The Idiot's Lantern as a basic DVD with no special features. It was also released in the complete Series 2 box set and the Doctor Who Cybermen collection. IGN's Adzan Haq gave The Age of Steel a rating of 7.9 out of 10, praising the way Mickey became independent. However, he noted that it worked as a popcorn episode, with the Cybermen story being a letdown, and by the book, with the conversation between the Doctor and Lumic about emotions something that was commonly covered in science fiction. Nick Setchfield of SFX gave the two-parter a positive review, highlighting Harper's direction which he felt added imagination and menace to the Cybermen and the parallel universe. However, he felt that Lloyd Pack's performance was too over-the-top for the current subtler incarnation of Doctor Who, which made him come across as jarringly two-dimensional. References. External links: The Age of Steel on TARDIS Data Core, an external wiki, TARDISode 6, Episode commentary by Noel Clarke, Camille Codgeray and Sean Dingwall. The Age of Steel episode homepage, The Age of Steel at the BBC Doctor Who homepage, Rise of the Cybermen / The Age of Steel at Doctor Who, A Brief History of Time, Rise of the Cybermen / The Age of Steel at the Doctor Who Reference Guide, The Age of Steel at Outpost Gallifrey, The Age of Steel at TV.com, The Age of Steel at the Internet Movie Database. Reviews The Age of Steel reviews at Outpost Gallifrey, Rise of the Cybermen / The Age of Steel reviews at Outpost Gallifrey, The Age of Steel reviews at the Doctor Who Ratings Guide, Rise of the Cybermen / The Age of Steel reviews at the Doctor Who Ratings Guide.